Hi, this is Vicki with the blog Ordinary Women. I've been asked by a few people how to make my faux malachite. It is made from basically Premo Polymer Clay. It's fun to make. It's, I don't know if you want it complex, complicated. It changes every time I make this. I go online and look at pictures of malachite and I pick out a piece that I really like and I try to mimic it. Usually I'm only being able to mimic a small portion of the picture, otherwise I'd have a cane, huge. It wouldn't fit anywhere in here, it'd be huge. I actually look for some pictures, find the pictures of the malachite you like and then try to mimic it. I'm gonna give you the basic building blocks for doing this and I'm gonna show you how to do one of them that I've done, which is gonna be a little bit different than this one. I don't have an actual piece of this cane left. All I have is this cabochons, a few of the cabochons I made from it. I used the other cane, just used it up really fast. Next thing I knew, I had it and then it was gone. It took me a long time to come up on how to make this to where it looked a lot like malachite. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the little eye in the corner if you want to leave me a tip. Anything helps me bring me more videos and stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if you like it, and check me out on Facebook, and it's Ordinary Woman on Facebook. And my blog is aboutordinarywomen.com. So let's get our clay together and let's get started. Supplies you're going to need are a pasta machine. This can come in handy, acrylic roller. You're going to need a clay blade. You will need some type of pointed tool. I'm going to be using this. You're going to need wasabi, green, ultramarine blue, sunshine yellow, black, and white. And these are all Premo Clay. You may use a little bit of translucent clay. That's optional. You are going to need this. This is from Cane Builder by Meg Newberg. If you haven't gotten in to get her subscriptions once a month for $5, you should check it out. I will have all the links below where you can get her subscription and also where you can download this template. So let's get our clay conditioned and we'll get started. Okay, the clay's all conditioned and I've run it through the two templates. This is the magic green. This is the emerald green. The thickness is the thickest on my pasta machine. I'm running an Atlas and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. You're going to treat this like a Skinner blend. Fold up, run through your pasta machine. Fold up, run through your pasta machine. Do not thin this blend out. We will be doing some more manipulating before we start thinning on these. On these two. Let me get this set to the side. You're going to make another blend, which is going to be the emerald green, except for you're going to make it 3 thicknesses thick. So this is like 3/8 of an inch. This blend, we're not going to treat it like a Skinner blend. We're going to cut in half. Oh, all right, tried to cut my finger off there. Cut in half. Basically, we're going to make 8 equal sections. So we got 8 different greens when we're done. We're going to take each section and we're going to blend them. Each section is going to be blended. Then you're going to need to run it through your pasta machine. You're going to want it about an inch and a half ribbon. As thin as you can get it and still work with it. I usually go down to a number 7 on mine, which is pretty thin. You can go to an 8, that's kind of pushing on your workability, but you're going to have some pretty long ribbons and that's what we want for our next step. So I'm going to get all these conditioned and I'm going to get my blends made and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got our blends made, we've got our about 1.5 inches, it's a little bit over 1.5 inches, really thin strips. Now it's time to prep this. You want to square these up a little bit. You don't want to worry about it too terribly much on the squareness. Save all the scraps, we will be using them. But square it up a little bit. Just get the bulk of it off. It's okay if it's not perfectly squared up, because as it goes through, we don't want it to look exactly the same. We're trying to mimic nature, which is not as easy as you think it is. Nature's all about imperfections if you really look at the things in nature. Divide in half. Okay, we're going to go back to the pasta machine. We're going to feed it through this side down on all of them. These two are going to be turned into jelly rolls. These two are going to be fan folded. I'll be back when I'm ready. Okay, we're going to do the emerald green. We're going to jelly roll it up. We're going to do the light side inside. Just roll as tight as you can. Try to avoid any air pockets if you can. And then just roll it up into a plug, basically. Okay. We'll set to the side for a minute right now. We're going to take the magic green and do the dark side inside and the lighter on the outside. So just try to roll it up and keep any of the air pockets out of there. Press them out if you need to. Whatever. Whatever works. Okay, so just set that to the side right now. And we're going to fan fold the other two. And we're going to make it a tight fan fold. To where it's really tight. About a ½ an inch to an inch fold. That way we don't have to square it up too much. We're going to do this with both blends, the magic green here and the emerald. Okay, set those aside right now. We're going to come back to our plugs. We're going to get it good and tight, make sure there's no air in them. And we're going to stretch them out till they're about 6 inches long. Perfection's not the thing here. This is more about being as natural as possible. So, you know, if you got colors kind of varying there, that's no big deal. We're going to go for about 6 inches. About there. Cut off our end. Make sure and save these. Okay, we're going to cut it in half and then in half again. We're going to get 4 equal pieces. We're going to do that with both of our jelly rolls. And then just set them to the side. We're going to do that with the next one. We pretty much got all of our building blocks here. We're going to manipulate these a little bit. Take the back of your blade, press down, squeeze together, go ahead and cut in half, put back together again. When you put the blade down, it kind of gives it a a head start on making this pattern, which will develop naturally anyhow. Squeeze it and pull. Get you a nice length going there. You can take your roller and go back and forth a little bit to get it squared up. And cut in half again. You're going to keep doing this until you start getting a pattern going. Matter of fact, you want to take your blade and press down again. You press down a little further this time. Squeeze together. We're going to do this with both of these blends. I'll be right back when it's done. Okay, all of our building blocks are ready. You want this look, see if I can get it up here close without blurring it out. Okay, that's what you pretty much want in those. Now, it's how you do it. These are all your building blocks you need. I built all of my malachite canes with these building blocks. How I do them each time is a little bit different. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it this time, but it's really up to you how you put this together. You can even leave these a big chunk and then just make a big one, or, you know, wrap your things around it. Do some variations to get to stick out a little bit more if you're only wanting one circle in there, one pushed up through rock, and that's what it is. It's being pushed up through the rock. But I'm going to show you how I do mine, so let's get started on that. I'm going to probably time-lapse most of this, but I'll try to show you from start to finish. Oh, and before I forget, all these little scraps you got here, chop them up. Just keep them chopped up. As you add more scraps, chop them up a little bit and set them to the side. Chop and toss them. You'll be using them for little tiny spots in here where you would normally put translucent clay. You're going to actually make little snakes of this variegated stuff up in there. So just kind of keep it chopped and tossed and set to the side, because you can just grab a little bit of it, push it together, and make a really neat little snake, which will fit into a lot of really neat areas. I almost forgot to tell you that before I was moved on to this. Set that to the side. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, and I'll mention that right now, is you want your layers in contrasting colors. If you do your layers too close to colors together, they start blending together and you cannot tell the layers. But if you contrast them a little bit, you can definitely distinguish your layers. Alright, that's pretty much it for that. What I like to do with all these other scraps and pieces, I save these. Because I will be using these later. So I save those. Not later in this video, but later in another project. I take all these pieces, all of them, put them all together with all the scrap. And it seems like a lot of scrap, huh? We're going to be using it here in a second. Just take it all together. Do the chop and toss. Just chop it up. Toss it around, and then we're going to go to the pasta machine, and we are just going to, stretch it out a little bit, and we're going to make one final layer. And I usually go ahead and do that, the thickest setting on the pasta machine gives me my final layer. And I think it looks just really cool on the outside of the cane, and also when you're cutting into it, because you've got this nice, good layer, like an outer coating. You can even do a brown if you wanted to, gray, black. I mean, you could do anything you want. Take granite and go, the granite Premo and go around it. Anything you want to do. But I just like to chop and toss this up a little bit, and I'll be right back, and we will almost be done. Okay, this is what it kind of looks like, kind of weird and funky, and it'll look different on each slice that you cut off. But go ahead and get it in there. Just work your way around with it. If you got enough to do 2 layers, go right ahead and do 2 layers. I don't think I'm going to have quite enough to go around twice. No, I'm not going to have enough to go around twice on mine. But just bring it together. And then make sure and press all the way around. If you're like me, you're going to want a few of these big slices, and you're going to want some of the smaller slices. Make sure you press all the air out of it. Like I said, I'm going to leave it big. I don't usually reduce my canes until they've set for a few days. So I'm just going to give you a slice off of here to show you what it looks like. Just a little slice. And there you have a faux malachite. You can manipulate this piece in all kinds of fun ways. You can elongate it, you can stretch it, you can cut pieces out of it and then put them together in different ways. This is different than my original one that I showed you because I like to change things up. I don't like my malachite to be the same exact thing every single time. I don't want it to look uniform, and this kind of looks a little too more uniform than I'd like. But I think if I turn it over, let me give you another slice off the other side. See, it looks a little bit different on this side because I did a little different with the stuff. Did more flattened out. Doesn't look very uniform, and as you reduce this and smaller, these little tiny pieces become smaller, and so do your lines around here, but it really does look like a faux malachite. A high-end malachite, not your lower end, which is what most of our jewelry is made out of. We very rarely see high-end malachite. We just don't. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, subscribe to my channel, visit my blog aboutordinarywomen.com. Don't forget to have fun and be creative, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.